Okay, taking a look here at Wade's swing. It was, of course, some of the first swings that he that he took in the building within the first 20 minutes at least. All right, taking a look at his setup. We'd prefer that we set up with that top hand near the front shoulder. This is Adrian Gonzalez here, Drew Macias, who was with the Padres and the Diamondbacks in the big leagues here. Gonzalez, of course, with the Red Sox now. We'd prefer that in your stance you set up with that top hand somewhere in a punching position near the front shoulder, because that's where that hand should be as you load, and as that elbow slots, that hand's going to launch from somewhere around the shoulder position. His hand does wind up getting there. Of course, it's palm up and we're flat, but you can see that even Wade, just like everybody will, eventually that hand is going to launch the bat in terms of throwing the bat head, finishing the throw of the bat head at the ball somewhere near that shoulder position. So it's best if we could start, with our hands, close to that position. And when we land, we want that palm facing out at the pitcher. Okay, palm on the pitcher here, which is going to leave that bat in a fairly stacked position, over the hands and over the back elbow when we land. We don't want to see the palm facing up to the sky like this, as we slot. Okay, maybe getting a little bit ahead of myself here. But that does have, the setup with the hands that high. We've got to get that down. Drew. If you look at Adrian, one of the things he does pre-swing, he really kind of works that elbow, kind of up into the ball there, getting it prepared to do what it's about to do. Drew, will start with his barrel a little bit flatter, but the hands don't travel much as we lift and slot. This is our key position right here, where we've shifted to the front side, the elbow has slotted, and this is where every good hitter is when he lands, okay? And so we want our top hand to be in close to that position. So with regard to the setup, we want feet, knees, and waist. Feet straight ahead. His feet aren't too bad here. Knees bent one click, waist bent one click, and that right hand in a punching position with the palm facing the pitcher. Okay, when we look at a hitter, again, three primary areas, back arm, back leg, and the front side. Let's go ahead and take a look at the back leg and how it's working, to control the footwork. The back leg has two functions. They're simply to get loaded and then unload laterally, sideways, if you will, in a straight line. Okay, so when the foot is lifted, the back leg is loaded, and then the back leg's job is to drive sideways in this direction to deliver energy into our target. Okay, taking a look at Wade's back leg. When the foot is lifted, when the foot is lifted, the back leg is loaded, and then he does make a pressing action. It's not nearly as strong as it should be, because his intent is to try to leave weight on the foot and spin it, even though he's not really doing that. Again, the foot basically does become unweighted, but if you look at the backside, there's really not any real drive there. The foot is kind of turning in a stationary place. Again, an indicator that we often see, although it's not a complete absolute, is that as we drive sideways, there's a little bit of forward movement of that back foot, is what you generally see in someone that has a good pressing action. Okay, so in looking at and kind of isolating the back leg, we need better lateral press, a little more drive out of it, with less intent to spin it. Okay, he's definitely overspinning it, and he's trying to power the swing by spinning it. If you look at our professionals here, the back leg works much more in a straight line, pressing weight laterally. Once the front side is weighted, the hips begin to open from the front as the front leg works to open the front hip. Okay, and then that's when you see that back leg become unweighted, and then the hips kind of pull that leg around, and you do start to see some internal rotation of the back leg, but we shouldn't be trying to force that over. Okay, so the back leg very simply has a simple 1-2, a simple load and sideways press to the front side. That's it. Okay, we'll go ahead and look at the front half while we're looking at this, and you can certainly see that Wade is flying open on the front side. And you also see two different strides. These swings were within a couple of swings. You know, on one, the foot just bails open and doesn't move forward much at all. On the other one, we still bail open, but it's a much bigger reach at it, and the knee locks out. You should stride the same way every time. You've got to stride on every pitch you see for the rest of your life. Your back leg is going to load and unload, and it needs to be consistent. And looking at the front side, we really want that front side to land in virtually the same position that it was in when it started. Again, if we take the hitter, and divide him in half here, you really want to see the front foot land square, the knee land square, slightly flexed but firm, but still square. Hip is square, shoulder is square, and of course the head and eyes haven't changed either. So working through here, you can again see when he lands, the front knee again has a little bit of bend in it, but it's very firm. The foot is square. The shoulder is square. Okay. Drew, very much the same here. Okay. Drew opens up a little bit more on the front foot, but some of that can be allowed based on flexibility and that sort of thing. But again, you see, squared off, slightly bent at the knee, but firm. Shoulders square, hips are square. Okay. Okay. And what we see here from Wade, the biggest issue is with he's trying to get to the ball by opening the foot. Okay, you can be allowed some opening of the foot can be okay, but you don't want to feel like that's your first move to help you get to the ball. Some of it is this mindset of, I got to spin through the ball, or I'm going to get through the ball by spinning my back leg, and then that mindset starts to work on the front foot, and that starts to spin open, and then you generally start to see the shoulders spin open prematurely as well. So we've got to get that front leg to land the same way it started. Here, again, we've got two different moves. We want the knee slightly bent and behind the foot. Here, the knee is bent too much and on top of the foot. Here, the knee is locked out, which we don't want. Completely locked out right there, and we don't want that. So both of those, bad news. We've got to learn to calm down that front side. You can also see the shoulders start to go. Look how square they are, and he's already starting to open up. Again, that's that, let me spin to get to the ball mentality. Okay, so we really want to land square. The only thing that we like to see that changes to a certain degree is we start to, right as we land, we start to create a little tilt at that front hip socket, which is going to give us this nice clean line here that we get. If you look at Wade, especially on this swing, we get more of a torso looking more straight up and down. This one, he has a little bit more tilt behind it as he goes to it. There's a little bit of angle there, but still more of a jackknife position. We still got more of a jackknife position like this, as opposed to, a nice clean line like this.